an only continent that is at the same time a country, a continent that got into war with emus, and the last continent on our list. Friends, it's my honor to welcome you to the last episode of Continent Ride, for now. Australia is located at the right corner of the world, bounded by the Arafura Sea on the north, Coral Sea to the east, and Indian Ocean on the west and south. Australia is in a way departed from the rest of the world, same as Antarctica, but not that departed. Australia is at the same time both continent and country. Australia enjoys an area of 7.7 million square kilometers, or around 3 million square miles, but I'm not so sure that Australia enjoys being the smallest continent on Earth. But on this, even though it's relatively small compared to other continents, Australia has some truly amazing nature, and some species are only reserved for Australia. But let's first start with the natural wonders. Different climates make different plant areas. Here you can find tropical rainforest, mountains, deserts and semi-arid land which make up half of this continent. Australia is the driest inhabited continent with less than 500 millimeters of rain per year. That means that you can put a bottle of Coca-Cola every square meter, and by the end of the year they will be full due to rain. Compare this to the South America, which has almost 3 times as much rainfall during the year. Let's now do the quick round of natural landmarks of Australia. The Great Barrier Reef is the largest coral reef in the world, and it lies about 2,000 kilometers, or about 1,200 miles. Fitzroy Island is one of the 600 islands of this archipelago. The Mountain Augustus is the largest monolith, but Mountain Kosciuszko is the highest at 2,228 meters. There are also some taller mountains which are not placed on Australian land, but they belong to Australia. They're Mawson Peak, Mount McClintock, and Mount Menzies. The northernmost point of land is the tropical Cape York Peninsula. Now let's end that quick round and let's focus on the animals that live in Australia. Australia is home for a lot of animals, but half of that species can only be found here. Special bird species which can be found here are kookaburra, the emu, and rainbow lorikeet. Rainbow lorikeet is an especially colorful parrot which has a red beak. The next are koalas. They are small animals which carry their young in a pouch. They look like small bears, but you must know that they are not bears. Their babies are called joeys, and they live in eucalypt forests. Fun fact about them is that they can sleep up to 20 hours, and because of that people think that they are bears. Next on the list are dingoes. They're the biggest carnivorous mammals in Australia. Carnivorous means that they eat meat. They look similar to domestic dogs, but they have longer muzzles, larger pointed ears, brown furry coat, and bushy tail. They hunt in packs of 3 to 12 animals. The animal which is the best association for Australia is the kangaroo. In Australia 50 million kangaroos live, so that's more than the population of people. More about people later. Some kangaroos can grow up to 90 kilograms or 198 pounds, but some can stay small and tiny. They carry their babies in the pouch. Tasmanian devil is an endangered animal and it lives only in the wild on the island of Tasmania. They're marsupials, so they bring their babies in pouches like kangaroos. They are small black-coated animals, but that doesn't mean that they are not aggressive. They have powerful jaws and sharp teeth. The interesting thing with emus is that they don't have a great history with Australian people. Let me tell you about Emu War, the first war of its kind. The Emu War was a military operation performed in Australia over the late part of 1932. The goal of the operation was to address public concern over the number of emus. The large number of emus was big for them, because they destroyed a lot of corn in the Campion district within the wheat belt of Western Australia. When it was clear that only the army can stop emus, the Royal Australian Artillery soldiers were employed, armed with Lewis guns, leading the media to adopt the name Emu War when referring to the incident. Although many birds were killed, the emu population persisted and continued to cause crop destruction. Now let's talk about the human population. This continent is populated by 39 million people. Population density is 4.2 persons per square kilometer, which makes it one of the most sparsely populated continents. The most dominant religion is Christianity. Other religions are Buddhism, Islam, Hinduism. Islam is widespread in Indonesian New Guinea. Since 1945, more than 7 million people have settled in Australia. From the late 1970s, a lot of Asians and Europeans settled here, so this makes this continent multicultural. Sydney is the most multicultural city in Oceania, having more than 250 different languages spoken. The most spoken language is English. About 40% of people don't speak English at home. Almost 36% of people have been born overseas. Melbourne is fairly cultural also. It has the largest Greek-speaking population outside of Europe and the second largest Asian population in Australia after Sydney. Let's hop now over to quiz part of this episode. First question, is Australia the smallest continent on Earth? Second question, is Australia a continent or a country? Third question, did Australia get into war with kangaroos? Friends, here we end this series. Thank you for watching until now. You are really Pengosome, and if you like my YouTube show you can always show it by clicking the subscribe button down there, but it's not a must. This theme and continent ride series are over. Till next week, see ya.